I have a customer who are deployed on AWS, and historically they made some architectural decisions that were a little bit outdated today, and they basically ended up costing a lot. So the decision was made to architect their EKS across 5 availability zones. And funnily enough, the reason for that was cost savings. They wanted to take advantage of as many spot instances as they could, and there used to be bigger limits than there are right now for deploying spot instances in terms of limits per availability zone. And obviously with EKS you can do that, and it's recommended practice for high availability, to get that deployed across multiple AZs. And they did 5 availability zones in a region, and they of course saved a lot on compute. But their inter-AZ data charges were through the roof, and they came to us for help. So once we started working with them, we noticed, so there is a thing called Topology Aware Hints, and that just was not enabled. And what it means is basically you can make use of that topology aware routing, which are additional, so hints are additional labels that you can add on the controller that contain the availability zone information. And then what it means is that the endpoints are filtered based on those hints. And in most cases, same zone endpoints are chosen. But obviously, if one availability zone is down, then the traffic would be routed to a different AZ. So it's not a restrictive measure. And following that suggestion, so in this particular case, it was super impactful. They were spending around $800,000 per month, and about $200,000 each month were saved just by switching on that one feature that they did not know about. And my takeaway would be from that just keep reviewing your architecture, especially if the decisions were made based on some historical limitations.
I guess the key that makes me think of straight away is that FinOps story, right? Where we do a cost optimization, and that's for today, and that's a great decision today because that's where the technology is, that's where our user load is, and everything else. But the cloud changes so fast. You got to keep up with what the new features are, and the topology aware routing is one that I think was only released last year, right?
Yes, yeah. There is an excellent blog actually from AWS on this particular feature, and it has a really nice graph that I love, showing how the traffic would just bounce completely irrationally between the zones, and then once you switch topology aware routing, then it just seems so much tidier.
Is there a rule of thumb about how often you should check your architectural decisions, or is it more milestone based?
The favorite answer for everyone, it depends, right? It really depends on the business requirement, right? And if you're in a period of growth, or if you're in a period of optimizing. But if you reach the level of optimizing, I would say, yeah, just review those like big decisions that you've made historically. Or, if you're, I don't know, you've got a brand new team, or you've got, other people with different experience that potentially can bring some, additional insights from, various different job roles or different companies. If the answer is we've always done it this way, then go and review it.
I think you mentioned exactly the word red flag, Ieva. That was one of the topics that we did previously on the podcast, Matan, and we have actually a blog post about it as well. And it's that situation where you see a usage creeping up. Anything, doesn't matter what it is, if it's creeping up and over time becoming one of your one of the biggest parts of your bill, then you probably need to check it, right, and see if there's a better way to do it. And it might be a full re-architecture. It might be something as awesome as there's a new feature that you can just turn on, but it might be something a bit more proactive, a bit harder work to get it